Great day everyone! Ang lesson natin ngayong araw na to ay tungkol sa rationalizing the denominator. Ano nga ba ang rationalizing the denominator? Sinasabi dito that rationalizing the denominator is when we move a root like a square root or cube root from the bottom of a fraction to the top. So 1 over square root of 2 has an irrational denominator because we all know that the square root of 2 is an irrational and it is on the denominator. Kaya po siya tinawag na irrational denominator. There's nothing wrong with irrational denominator. Pwede naman po tayo mag-solve gamit ang irrational denominator. It's just that it is not in its simplest form. Para magkaroon tayo ng simplified answer or simplified form, to be in a simplest form, the denominator should not be irrational. Ano yung kailangan natin gawin para maging rational ang denominator natin, or maging rational man ang ating expression? Fixing it by making the denominator rational is called rationalizing the denominator. That's why it is called rationalizing. You're going to transform the irrational to rational, which is on the denominator. That's why tinawag siyang rationalizing the denominator. Example, 1 over square root of 2 has an irrational denominator. Paano natin siya gagawin? Rational. So remember, para maging rational, tandaan natin kapag square root lang ang denominator, remember na 1 over square root of 2 ay equal yun sa kapag minultiply natin sa 1. So 1 over square root of 2 multiplied to 1 is still 1 over square root of 2. We can change the 1 into that 1 into 1 over square root of 2 multiplied to the square root of 2 over square root of 2. I-multiply lang natin siya into fraction na kung saan it contains also the denominator, which is the square root of 2. Pero depende po yun sa given natin. Kapag square root lang po yan ginagawa. Okay? Now, we can have 1 times square root of 2, that is square root of 2, over square root of 2 times square root of 2 ay square root of 4 or 2 na lang. So, this is our rational answer. Wala na tayong denominator wala na tayong radical sa denominator. Next example, what if we have the cube root of 2 over the square root of 2? In rationalizing the denominator, again, we are just going to multiply both numerator and denominator by square root of 2. Yan po. Then, we can have 4 square root of 4 denominator, which is nasa taas naman ay cube root of 2 multiplied to the square root of 2. For us to solve it easier, itatransform natin yan into rational expressions. The square root of 4 is equal to 2. Then, cube root of 2 is equal to 2 raised to 1/3. And also, square root of 2 is equal to 2 raised to 1/2. If we are going to multiply 2 raised to 1/3 times 2 raised to 1/2, because they have the same base, you can combine the 1/3 plus 1/2. You can have 2 1/3 plus 1/2 over 2. Then we have 2 raised to 5 over 6 divided by 2. And the transform, we're just going to transform this expression on the numerator to radical expression. That is the square root of 2 raised to 5 over 2. Then expand the 2 raised to 5, we can have the 6 root of 32 all over 2. Next example is the square root of 3x divided by the cube root of 3x. Remember, if the denominator is cube root, we are also going to multiply numerator and denominator by cube root. Of course, the radicand will change. Kasi po, hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-multiply lang, hindi natin makakancel kapag 3x lang din yung nasa loob. For us to have a perfect cube radicand, kailangan yung nasa loob nitong minumultiply natin, kung ito ay 3x na, i-multiply natin yan into 9x squared. Saan galing yon? We multiply 3x by its 3x by itself. 3x times 3x is 9x squared, and if we are going to multiply it again by 3x, that will become a perfect cube. Then 9x squared. Remember that the numerator is equal to the product of the square root of 3x and cube root of 9x squared. The denominator is equal to the cube root of 27x cubed. Then we have the square root of 3x multiplied to the cube root of 9x squared over the cube root of 27x cubed, that is 3x. We can solve for the numerator. The numerator will become 3x raised to 1/2 multiplied to 9x squared raised to 1/3, which is equal to 3x. Divided by 3x. Sorry. Then, transform lang natin. 3x raised to 3 over 6 multiplied to 9x squared 2 over 6. Okay? Tinransform lang natin yung mga exponent natin into similar terms or similar fractions para magkaroon tayo ng parehas na index. And then divide all by 3x. Then this is the continuation of your arrow. Then we have the 6th root of 3x raised to 3 multiplied to the 6th root of 9x squared raised to 2. Okay. Para mas madali, yan, i-divide lang natin yan by divided by 3x. So, mamaya na natin sulit yung 3x para hindi tayo masyadong magkuha ng space. Okay? So, we have the 6th root of 3x raised to 3. Kung mapapansin po natin, the 9x squared is parehas lang yan sa 3x squared. So, that is 6. Then, 3x raised to 2. Then, another times 2. Ayan. So, 2, yun po yung ito. Equal yan sa 3x raised to 2. At ang multiplication 2 ay ito po yun. That is power to power rule. Then, we can have the 6th root of 3x raised to 3 times the 6th root of 3x raised to 4. Then, we have the 6th root of 3 raised to 7 x raised to 7 over yung dinidivide natin na 3x, that is 3x. Simplify for this one and this one, we can have 3x, this the 6th root of 3x over 3x. Maka-cancel natin yung numerator and denominator. Then we have the 6th root of 3x. Okay, next example, what if we have the square root of 2m divided by the cube root of 2m? We're just going to multiply it by the cube root again. The cube root of mn square. M square, n square. That's it. Remember, cube root pa rin yan, pero m square, n square kasi i-multiply natin tong mn sa sarili niya. Mn times mn, that's mn square. M square, n square. Okay? Then, we can have the numerator square root of 2m multiplied to the cube root of m square, n square. Then, the denominator, mn will remain. Transform the numerator into rational. Gagawin lang po na rational expression, yung exponent po natin ay fraction. So, 2m raise yan sa 1/2 multiply sa m square n square raise naman yan sa 1/3 over mn. Then, multiply na natin dalawa. But before we multiply, make sure na para sila ng denominator na exponent. So, 2m, ang LCD ng 2 at 3 ay 6. Kaya po ito, 1/2 will become 3 over 6. Multiply to m square n square, 1/3 is 2 over 6 over mn. Then, transform into radical expression, the 6th root of 2m cubed times the 6th root of m square n square raised to 2 again, and also mn. Then, we can have the 6th root of 8m cubed multiplied to the 6th root of m raised to 4 n raised to 4 over mn. Then, for the continuation, we have the 6th root of, multiply the radicals inside the radical sign. Those are 8 m cubed and m raised to 4, that is m raised to 7 n raised to 4 over mn. Then, we cannot simplify 8 already because it is simplified form. N raised to 4 is also in its simplified form. M raised to 7, we can still simplify the m raised to 7 because the exponent 7 is greater than the index 6. Ito po ay malalabas na isang m, may matitirang m sa loob na isa. So, 7 divided by 6 ay 1. So, ibig sabihin may isang m outside. So, the 6th root of 8 and m may natira isa pa rin kasi may remainder yan. 7 divided by 6 ay 1, which is the outside quotient. And the remainder, ito yung nasa loob. Then, n raised to 4 over mn. So, we can cancel n, or we can divide m divided by n, that is 1. So, our final answer can be, so it is, our final answer is 8m n raised to 4 divided by n. Bakit ko pa sinulat doon? Ito pala, kaya ako pala ginawa to kasi mas mahaba yun. So, rationalize, how are we going to rationalize this kind of denominator? It is considered as irrational because square root of 2 is irrational. It is on the denominator. Paano po natin siya gagawin? Remember our lesson in conjugate, multiplication of conjugates. So, this is what we are going to do for us to cancel the square root. Kasi nga, di ba, the conjugates of radicals is a whole number, the product of conjugates of radicals is a whole number. Kaya po, ang gagawin po natin, i-multiply natin yung denominator, yung numerator and denominator gamit ang conjugate ng denominator. Ang conjugate ng 3 minus square root of 2 is yung kabaliktaran niya lang ng sign, which is 3 plus square root of 2. 3 plus square root of 2. Then, we can multiply 1 multiplied to the exponent 3 plus square root of 2. The numerator will have 3 plus square root of 2. Then, that is 3 square minus the square root of 2 square plus, paano siya nagkaganon? Remember that the product of the sum and difference of two binomials is equal to the square of the difference of two binomials. Remember that a minus b times a plus b is always equal to a square minus b square. That is why we can have 3 square minus the square root of 2 square from that rule. Okay, sum and difference of two binomials. We can have 3 plus square root of 2 over 3 square, that is 9, minus 2. Our final answer for the simplified form of that expression is 3 plus square root of 2 over 7. Okay, don't forget. Next, again, we have binomial denominator, so we can multiply it by its conjugate. The conjugate of that denominator is square root of 6 minus square root of 5, square root of 6 minus the square root of 5. So the numerator, by 7, multiplied to the square root of 6 minus square root of 5, and the denominator will have square root of 6 square minus square root of 5 square. We can have distribute the 7 on the numerator, that is 7 square root of 6 minus 7 square root of 5 over 6, cancel the square root, then minus 5. Our final answer for that expression is 7 square root of 6 minus 7 square root of 5. That is over 1, or we can say that it is already our final answer. I hope you learned something regarding rationalizing the denominator. That's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. That's it for today. See you on the next video.